Now, exactly how do you make that connection between your organization's mission and that of the funder? It's simple, but it's not easy. You've got to do two things. You've got to do your research, and then you have to cultivate strong relationships, otherwise known as schmooze. Now, I mentioned these two related best practices because they're even more crucial now during these tough economic times. Without clear, strong connections, you simply have a poorer chance of getting funded. First, you have to do your homework. Make absolutely certain that you found a great role that your organization can play in the funder's world. The good news is that these days there's no shortage of information that's easy to access about those funders. This is completely different from the days not so long ago in the late 90s when we didn't have those databases that are everywhere now, but we had to pore through volumes and volumes of heavy directories. How many people remember that? That was not fun. But now we can read funders' own websites, we can read lots of other information about them that's out there, and we can find out how a funder sees itself. That's key. Is it an image of a cutting-edge risk taker or more of a conservative benefactor? Is the funder very hands-on, or maybe they like to take a more limited role? Do you get a sense that the funder is interested in becoming an equal partner with your organization? In essence, you have to figure out where they're coming from. Turns out the philanthropy gene is in between the risk-taking and the happiness gene. Remember that since not all foundations are seeing their assets decline, you need to find out the latest information on your specific prospects, not the general scene. But databases and websites will only go so far. You need to make your best effort to develop relationships with funders before and after you apply. So schmooze away. The old adage is true. People do business with people they know and trust. It's your job as a grant seeker to get to know your prospective funders as much as possible. Remember, in this down economy, many grantors giving programs are in flux. So make sure that your published information is still current. Right now, today. Their website might be slightly outdated. Their 990 might not be related to what they're doing right now. Also, there may be some changes in the next funding cycle, or perhaps a year down the line, 2 years down the line, and you need to know that. Find out if the size, the duration, and the type of project you're proposing are all appropriate. And if they're not, you need to adjust as necessary. You may even want to ask if the funder is currently making any program-related investments. These are similar to loans to nonprofits, because more foundations these days are now open to giving program-related investments. It's a strategy that they're finding is helping nonprofits get through this economic slump. My best advice here is to listen more than you talk. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Remember the 80-20 rule of sales. 80% listening and 20% talking. Make your best effort to step out of your own shoes and into theirs. Then, when it's time to write your proposal, you'll be ready to speak their language. And you'll become reader-centered and not writer-centered. That's key. You want to be reader-centered and not writer-centered. If they like what they see, they might actually offer to help you make your proposal more competitive. And if they do that, jump at that chance. Even if you don't get funded this cycle, developing a working relationship will help you in the future. The truth is that we grant seekers are dedicated to improving our communities, and so are grant makers. They really want to contribute, especially in these economic times. And we have to show them that working with us will offer that opportunity.